Welcome once again to Canon Comprehensive Tutorial. This way you get excellence with utmost simplicity. We've been working on a series on geometry and we'll finish that of straight line. So today we're going to be going into a whole new concept. So do well to stick close till the end, watch this video to the end. We want to look at a very important concept titled cycle. Now, you've had this concept severally, and we want to look at it in a whole new dimension. And in the mathematical way today, we want to look at what the concept of a cycle is and all it entails as it has to do with this. Now, what's a cycle? A cycle is simply a set of points. Cycle is simply a set of points whose distance from a fixed point is constant. So defining a cycle in just a sentence, this is what we can define a cycle to be: a set of points whose distance from a fixed point is constant. Okay, this is very bad. Let's see how to get a proper cycle. Let's say this is a cycle joining several points. So we have the center here, and we're told that it's simply a set of points whose distance from this fixed point is constant. This simply means the distance from this part of the cycle, which is the center, to the circumference is always constant, implying that from this part here to this is constant, this part here to this is constant. And what are these parts we are simply referring to? This part is simply the radius, right? Simply the radius of a cycle, which we present to be half. So let's do a quick recap on that's a simple part of cycle. This is the circumference. What divides a cycle into half is called the diameter, and half of a diameter is the radius. Now in this case, we want to look at some set of arbitrary points. Let's say x1, y1 from the center here to a point x2, y2. The formula of this to get the radius, the distance from this center to the circumference, becomes r squared equals x minus, let's represent our center to be A and B. So instead of using y1 and y2, we're going to use, let's A comma B be our center, and let x comma y represent arbitrary points or any point around the circumference. So if I'm to get the formula to get this radius, it's going to be x minus a squared plus y minus b squared, simply implying subtracting the value of x here, subtracting the value of b here. So this is what we refer to be a standard formula for a cycle. Now this is when we have points x and y. We also have cases where it begins from the origin. It presents that to be r squared equals just x squared plus y squared. So this formula will guide us a whole lot in the whole concept of what we're talking about, a cycle and all it entails. So let's dive into it proper now. Yes, so diving into this properly now, we have a question here. We're going to be looking at the whole concept of the equation of a cycle, tangent of a cycle, normal to several sets of points. So in this case now, we ask the question here to find the equation of a cycle with center -2, 3 and radius 3 meters. Now, there are certain things you need to know about the equation of a cycle. Equation of a cycle is given by the general formula. You have x squared plus y squared plus 2fx plus 2gy plus c equals 0. So this is the general equation of a cycle. And one thing you must take note is that If you see an equation of a cycle, to identify an equation of a cycle, you must observe that the degrees of the x component must be the same with that of the y component, and they are mostly squared. That's one. Second thing you need to note about a cycle is that a cycle equation does not have an xy component. It doesn't have an xy component. You cannot find an equation of a cycle, which is truly an equation of a cycle, to have components xy. The terms are always individual, standing alone. So with this basic knowledge, let's attempt solving the question we have above. Remember that this is the general form of a cycle, while the standard form, or what we call the canonical equation of a cycle, is given to be this formula. So we have a question here to find the equation of a cycle with center minus 2,3 and radius 3 meters. Our radius is 3 meters, so we're simply doing a direct substitution. 3 squared equals x minus, our a and b here represents the center, which is AB respectively. So our a here is minus 2 squared plus y minus our b here is 3. I have this to be all squared. So quickly, we have 9 equals x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared. So we want to open the bracket now, and if you're doing that, we have this to be x plus 2 plus y minus 3 y minus 3. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4 plus y squared minus 3y. We have minus 3y, then positive 9. So we have 9 into x squared plus 2x, 2x is 4x plus 4 plus y squared minus 3y minus 3y should give you minus 6y plus 9. So what we want to do now is to rearrange our cycle equation such that it looks like the general equation of a cycle: x squared plus y squared plus 12x plus 2gy plus c equals 0. So we're going to be arranging it that way now carefully. We're going to have x squared plus y squared plus 4x. You have your negative 6y here, positive 4, positive 9. And if you're bringing your positive 9 this way, you have negative 9. Here becomes 0. So all you have now is x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 6y. Positive 9 goes with 9. You're left with plus 4 equals 0. So this becomes the general form, or the equation of a cycle, which has the center minus 2,3 and radius 3 meters. Hope you learned something.